everyone, in today's video I'm going to be sharing some of my thoughts on the health and fitness industry and eating disorders and eating disorder recovery. So I must be honest with you, I am quite reluctant to call it the health and fitness industry because more often than not it is actually more of a training or working out for aesthetics industry than a health and fitness industry, and the two are not the same thing. So when I think about health and fitness, I really think about wholeness, longevity, wellness, and all that good stuff. And that is not something that can be summed up neatly in an image of a person with a low body fat percentage who has well-defined muscles. But unfortunately, the health and fitness industry is generally defined by that image. And that in and of itself is hugely problematic. I just want to say that right off the bat. I think that the health and fitness industry has narrowed our understanding of what it is to be healthy to something that even often is not healthy. But over and above that, I think what's been so interesting is seeing how the industry itself has evolved and changed over time. So it kind of, I guess, arose with the rise of Instagram and sort of social media, that suddenly there was this large and influential health and fitness industry that was so easily accessible to the general population. And with that came a lot of influential women who professed themselves in many respects to be experts in the field, who shared and sold and do still sell their workout plans, who influence people in terms of what they eat and so on and so forth. And they did this by neatly packaging themselves as seemingly very happy, healthy, and they still do this, I'm not speaking the past tense, but very happy, healthy people, well-rounded, out there in the world, just taking on everything and these incredible physiques that they have. And that is appealing to almost all of us. And so it's generated a lot of money, a lot of interest, and it's henceforth influenced a lot of people. What's been very interesting though is that as time has gone on, because this industry has been around for so long, there are some women who have kind of ridden this wave and are now almost on the other side, where when they look back and reflect on the time when they were such leaders in the industry, I guess, they actually have admitted that at that time when they were posting these very toned, kind of perfect images of themselves, they were actually really struggling in their bodies. They were struggling with food. They were struggling with gym addiction. And I find that so interesting because it really highlights the point that a lot of these women that you might be kind of looking up to for inspiration in terms of fitness and health might actually be really struggling with intense fear of weight gain, with a fear of certain food groups, with a fear of missing a workout. And that is not healthy. That's not what we want to think about when we're thinking about someone living a healthy, active, happy life. So I do just want to highlight to you that the industry itself is quite often a disordered industry, and it's fueled by diet culture, which we know is so problematic when we think about the development and perpetuation of disordered eating and even eating disorders. So please just bear that in mind. But I think over and above that, what I find so problematic about this industry is that it's opened up the floodgates for anyone to give advice and opinions on stuff that they're actually not educated enough to give that advice or opinions on. So I appreciate that a lot of these women have got personal training qualifications, and that's great, and they can show you different exercises, and honestly it's often very helpful. But unfortunately that has gone a bit beyond that, where it's actually now that they're giving advice on nutrition and dietetics and what people put into their bodies, and they just simply do not have the qualifications to do so. So if we think about life outside of social media, the real world, people who are allowed to give advice legally on dietetics and nutrition and what you put into your body are registered healthcare professionals. They are dietitians and doctors and nurses and whatever the case is. They are people who have extensively studied the human body, who have an extensive knowledge base, but over and above that, who are registered and who have even under oath promised to behave ethically, to behave in a way that is always going to be in the best interest of their clients, and they are held accountable to that under the governing system of their country, because it's serious, because they are dealing with people's lives. And someone who is influencing someone else on the internet is no different. An influencer is also dealing with people's lives. But the scary thing is that they are doing that without any regulation, without any ethical code of conduct governing and kind of protecting their actions. And they're also doing that and giving advice to people who they know absolutely nothing about. They know nothing about your context. They know nothing about the people whose questions they are answering, which I believe in real world terms, if we kind of step outside of social media, is hugely unethical. But because the social media is such a gray area, people are getting away with stuff that they really shouldn't be. One kind of just example of this, and this bothers me so much, and I've seen this happen on more than one occasion, where a fitness influencer is asked about, someone will a fitness influencer will do something like a Q&A or whatever on Instagram, and they'll get asked, how do you lose weight? Or how do you get abs? And their spontaneous and straightforward reaction to this, an answer without a second thought for who this person is that asked the question is, oh, just go on a calorie deficit. And I'm like, okay, are you going to explain what you mean by that? Because calorie deficit means you're suggesting that someone eats less calories than what is viable for their natural everyday functioning. That's why they would then be in a deficit. So actually, in essence, what you've just suggested to that person whom you know absolutely nothing about is that for them to get abs, they just need to starve themselves. Like that's your straightforward, easy answer to a person that you know absolutely nothing about, to a person whose context you know nothing about. For all you know, that person has got an eating disorder, a really bad eating disorder, and you've just happily told them that to lose weight or for you to get abs, just go on a calorie deficit. What if they're already on a calorie deficit? So I'm hoping you're kind of seeing where this problem is, that you have these people just spewing out this advice, life-altering, dangerous advice to people that they don't know at all, that they can't see, that they can't even interact with or don't bother engaging with. Let me just calm myself. It makes me so angry, especially when you think about how it's done. How this fitness influencer has her phone, and she reads that question, takes her 1 second to read it, 2 seconds to think of an answer, 3 seconds to type the answer. She sends the answer. She never looks back at the story again. She never thinks about it again. She goes on with her life thinking she's this great, wonderful person, changing people's reality by posting pictures of herself in a bikini. And that person that receives that response and everyone else who reads it is affected by that. I remember that response. I've been affected by it. That person who reads that response might have an increased negative relationship with food now, an increased negative relationship with their body. But does it matter to that fitness influencer? Why should it? She'll never even know the damage that she caused, because that happens privately in that person's private life, how they respond to it, and how we all respond to it when we're receiving this inaccurate information that's generalized to all of us. Never mind that we all have different bodies, we are all unique genetically. We're given a blanket piece of advice that is just so dangerously and insincerely provided. Anyway, I'm actually running out of time, but that is really the gist of what I just want to say, is that I wish they were more regulated, and I wish they cared more about the unique individuals who are following them, because that's what we all are. We're unique individuals, and we shouldn't be giving advice when we actually don't have the credentials, the knowledge, or often even the care. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Bye, everyone.